What's good, y'all? Hope y'all having a good day. I don't have much time to talk to y'all because I do have something to go do, but I did want to get a stream out and a video out for y'all. I say stream because I'm streaming, but I never really announce it, or I don't plan to announce it. And it turns into a video anyways. It's just unedited, which is what I like. But I want to come here and talk to y'all. Oh shoot! Hope y'all. Oh, I don't even know if y'all heard me. I don't know if y'all can hear me. Put my mic down. But I want to come talk to y'all about purpose. And I want to be vulnerable with y'all too. Like, my room's a little messy. Boy need a retwist. Face need to be shaved. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Um, I want to come talk to y'all about purpose. I appreciate all the love and support y'all have shown on my videos on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. This is what I purely love to do, and I'm glad I'm bringing that up because that is also in correlation with what we're gonna talk about today. So when it comes to purpose and y'all purpose, like I spoke about it on my Instagram for a little minute, but um, your definition, your purpose has to be your definition. A lot of people, including myself at one point, define themselves or who they want to be by an occupation, by materialism. And I'm not trying to sound cliche here when people say, when I ask you who you are, don't tell me what you do. I agree with that too, but this is different. This is a different topic. Um, because those things can be taken away. Occupation can be taken away. Money, clothes, um, even a certain skill set can be taken away. I can say I'm a kickboxer and I love to fight. And technically, my kickboxing skills can't get taken away, but if I get injured, they're no longer useful because I can't kick. If I break both my legs, knowing how to kickbox could help me train others how to kickbox, but even then, I wouldn't be able to show them. And so my purpose, I feel, is to help people. I feel like it's best for me by word of mouth because I've been through a lot at a young age, and I've always had a desire to help people online. Some of y'all definitely don't know, but if my following reaches the same crowd or gets big, I used to actually have an account that was pretty viral. It was called I don't know idk.vn on TikTok. I had a video over 40,000 on there, and the other videos ranging to closer views. And I just talked about mental health. I ended up deleting it impulsively because I guess I just wanted a new account, and it was the dumbest thing I ever did. I wish I still had that account. I had some gems on there that are gone, but that's besides the point. Um, but I bring that up because to say I've always been doing this, and it's something that can't be taken away from me. No matter how much money I make, no matter where I travel, no matter who I talk to, or who the living entity is. I can help animals, but helping in general, it's something that can't be taken away from me. You can take away my mouth, I can help with my hands. Take away my hands, I can help with my heart. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need even the things on your own body to be able to help people in a way that touches them. And to a certain point, your energy can be so strong for somebody maybe that's having a bad day that just a smile at them or sitting with them could transform their whole perspective. We are very emotional, sentient beings, and it's crazy how things like that can happen. You could be sitting on a bench after a terrible day, and a nice individual could just come sit next to you and tap you on your leg, like getting up, like, hope you have a good day. Not even saying anything though, and it's like almost like an angel just came and sat by you. You could just that'll really have you sitting there thinking like, wow, like, that person didn't know I was having a bad day, but for some reason they came and sat by me. You know what I mean? And so a lot of y'all have to define your life and yourself by your purpose. What do you want to do in this world? What do you want to do for you? What do you want to do that can't be taken away from you? I want to make millions of dollars, but they might get taken away. Who are you going to be when you are in all these different situations? Because see, when you define yourself by a job, for example, if that job gets taken away, now you are no longer in existence technically based off your logic, and you no longer know who you are if you lose that job or you don't get to be in that occupation. What about you is going to be constant? What about you is consistent? What about you do you really love? What do you want to do that you really love? The only reason we love occupations is because we all have to get paid in this system that we live in. But if it wasn't for all that, yes, we would still work, but that wouldn't be what our motives are. It wouldn't be what we drive for. We wouldn't have a drive to A lot of people, when they say what they do and what they love is a task that they don't mind doing for an extended amount of time to make a certain amount of money. That's what we claim we love because we like it enough to not hate it. But it's not something we really love because if we didn't have to choose it, we wouldn't choose it. Even back in the day when there wasn't jobs and they did things and they worked, there were still things they were working for, pure things they were working for that they couldn't be taken away from them. They still love to do certain things that couldn't be taken away from them. And that's what's going to drive you through life, because no matter if you're in a different country, if you're broke, if you're starving, that purpose will keep you here, first of all. And second of all, it'll keep you moving forward. Because there is a place where you and your purpose align and they meet. And you'll feel fulfilled. You'll feel at peace. And that is what is most important. And it cannot be a material thing that is man-made. Purpose is essential. It is infinite. We all look for finite things. We all attach ourselves to finite things when we are infinite. Our souls are infinite. The knowledge, the love, the wisdom we carry is infinite. So you mustn't, attach yourself or define yourself to something that is finite, that we have created, that has been created, that doesn't even last itself. There was something else I wanted to talk to y'all about too, man. There's something else I want to talk to y'all about too. What was I gonna talk to you? Man, it was in a car earlier. What was I thinking about, bro? I'm not sure. I do know this though. This is something else I want to talk to y'all about. Like, you can't be scared, man. You can't be scared. Can't move with fear. Fear will cripple you from doing everything that you want to do. And most of the fears we have been placed on us from the system we live in, from the propaganda we read all day without even realizing it. A lot of things we consume into our subconscious is what causes us to have fear. You know what I'm saying? You can get on TikTok and see a bunch of people talking about planes crashing and really think nothing of it. But then, like, out of nowhere, somebody's like, hey, you want to book this flight to Brazil? I got half off tickets. And now you think about all the stuff you just consumed. And you're like, no, I don't want to die on a plane. Like, man, look, you can't be scared to do anything. If you want to move, make means right for you to survive and move. If you want to talk to somebody, go talk to them, man. At the end of the day, we don't care. I had to get over a lot of fear to get back on this camera. I was scared of, like, I don't know, I guess judgment, but at the same time, it's like, man, I don't care about what other people think, and nobody else really cares about what anybody else says. And even if they do, it's not gonna last long. And sometimes finite, this goes back to my original point, sometimes finite things aren't always in the physical form. That fear I had is me attaching my fear to that finite period of time that people would judge me for my content, but then it's gonna be gone, and I could have created a foundation of, beautiful content for people that enjoy it or are helped by it, but I didn't because I cared about that stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff doesn't matter. And so, what was I saying? Yeah, you can't be scared. You can't allow fear to get in the way, because what we don't realize is a lot of the time when we're in bad situations, we always naturally, we're still primal beings, and we instinctively find a way to get back to where we were to survive. And so if you can do that when unexpected things happen to you, or when impromptu situations are placed upon you, you definitely could do it in a situation where you believe in yourself. You definitely can survive and figure it out and be happier if you put yourself in that situation. There's been times where people have been evicted, parents divorced, they lose their house, they're homeless, they're hungry, they got a bunch of stuff that people go through. And y'all, for those that go through that stuff, y'all always figure it out somehow. Y'all are never really worried because you always figure it out somehow. But as soon as it comes something you want to do, you're thinking about, what if this happened? What if this? But you're not thinking about that in your own home when you've went through, when your water was cut off and your mom didn't have money for food. You weren't thinking, well, how am I going to shower? How am I going to eat it? No, you had to sit there and be like, okay. You might have had those questions at first, but after you're like, okay, I'm going to figure this out. Everything's going to be okay. You got to apply that same energy to things you love and things you want to do. If you want to travel, what if I don't have the money, and what if I can't stay in a hotel, and what if no? I want to go here. This is what I have. What can I do with it? I'll figure it out. But I'm gonna have the experience. And then don't take my advice like immediately. I'm not telling you to go impulsively hop on a plane without being prepared. I'm just saying that if you know you can do something and you're scared of the obstacles on the way, then you need to just do it, because there's never a right time, and you figured it out before in situations you weren't planning to figure it out in. So if you plan to figure it out, you'll be just as okay, if not better, and you'll finally have did the thing you always wanted to do. Don't be scared, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared. Life is too short, and you don't want your life to be extremely short by only having similar repetitive memories of the same life that you live every day. You want change, even if you don't have the means to do so. Because there are people that have the means to do so that still are too scared to do it for whatever other reasons they're thinking. And they end up selling themselves short. So don't sell yourself short like that. What else did I want to talk about, bro? Oh my gosh. It was so good too. And like, the reason I forgot is because none of this stuff I say to y'all is inauthentic. When I hop on camera, it's all authentic. So nothing I say is like I got a list of things written down. It's just what I'm feeling that day, what I want to talk to you about. But there is something I was talking about yesterday on my TikTok. I wasn't really talking about it actually. It was just a statement, but I do want to touch on it. Adaptation without foundation is just inconsistency. And so you can't adapt. Like, let me give you can't adapt to situations and not build a foundation. Because then you just revealing to yourself that you are inconsistent and you're being inconsistent with yourself. If you want to go to the gym, you can't buy a membership but then buy protein, then start drinking protein shakes, but then going back to eating fast food, and then buying a workout plan because it wasn't the diet, it was the workout, but then you don't follow the workout plan. You know, you're adapting to your own bad habits, but then you create new bad habits within your old bad habits. That is a whole new set of bad habits you have to deal with. And now you have no foundation because you completely destroyed the foundation you were creating by creating new bad habits. And so a lot of us adapt to either situations we're put in or situations we want ourselves to be in, or we adapt to anything, you know, getting older, a new sports team, anything, and we don't create foundation there that allows us to be consistent. And that's important. Even if it's a moral value about yourself. You know, if you want to say no more, but you know you don't say no because you're scared of, you know, how people might react to you saying no, well then you have no foundation within that adaptation of wanting to say no. And so now that adaptation is wasted, and it's not really an adaptation, it's more so a lie or fallacy you place under yourself, something you thought you were going to do and you're not doing it. You know what I mean? Now you're inconsistent as a person towards yourself. And that's not cool, because now you're creating trust issues and doubt within yourself. You know, that's how doubt is created. You don't doubt yourself from completing something, you doubt yourself from incompleting something. And doubt lies in every incomplete task. And so if you tell yourself you're gonna, even with me, I've done this too. If you tell yourself you're gonna do something, or you want to be this way or this or that, and you either destroy it by creating new bad habits, or you just don't do it at all. Now the next time you think about something you want to do, or somebody asks you, you know, you think you can do this, you might lie out of mouth, but in your mind you're like, yeah, man, can I really do that? Am I really gonna do that? Because every time I say I'm gonna do something, I don't do it. Now you're looking at yourself like, man, like I'm a fraud. You know what I mean? So don't be that way. By the way, for anybody that's possibly in the chat, hello. I don't have my chat overlay open because, like I said, I don't announce going live. I don't have that big of a following to where people know I'm live. I'm just looking at my OBS, which is also why I'm not really looking at the camera as much, because I'm kind of looking at myself. But if you are in the chat or were in the chat, hello. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you're having an amazing day. But, yeah. Just remember that, man. Adaptation without any foundation is inconsistency. If it's things you want to place within yourself that you don't want to change, you have to create that foundation and build it when you adapt. Because we aren't, you know, beings that can adapt and master something like that. Some of us can, but not all of us can. Really, the majority of us can't do that. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. As I'm talking, I'm still trying to think about the thing I spoke about yesterday, bro. What was I talking about? I really do appreciate the love, though. I seen a guy comment on my video yesterday saying, or 2 days ago or something, saying, out of all the small streamers, you're the one like spitting real shit or something like that. And I appreciate that. I just started streaming. I've been a content creator for a while. I'm not saying that like I have a following, but I've been in the space of creating content for a while. Never really stayed consistent with it, but I just started streaming again, and getting love like that is appreciative because I don't really. I would love to do this for a living. Um, I would love to do this for a living, and stuff, but I really just do this to help y'all, or I want this to be a safe space or inspirational space. Whatever my messages do for you is what I want. So I appreciate that. What else is I talking about, man? Dang, bro. I definitely didn't. Wait. Maybe I posted it. Hold on. Maybe I posted it on TikTok. 1 second. Give me a minute. Last thing we're gonna talk about, because I gotta wrap it up because I gotta go soon. Love the journey more than the destination, and the journey will become the destination. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier about not loving finite things, but we miss so much along the way. A road trip is not about where you're going. It's about the experience along the way. It's about spending time with people you love along the way, seeing things along the way. It's not about getting to the destination. And you gotta look at your life as a road trip. For a while you might be on the same street with the same mountainside and the same, view next to it. But then you might encounter a tunnel, a really cool tunnel. Maybe a nice car drive by. Maybe you enter a completely creative, space you've never seen before, and you get to take a lot of pictures. And then you get to the destination. My point is that one, there is no destination, and two, the destination is inevitable. And I know that's a paradoxical statement, but just hear me out. There really is no destination because there will never be a place except death where you land and you stop, Because even when you get stuck, even when people settle, I promise you, they don't label that as their destination. I promise you, if they were given if somebody is 50 years old working at a fast food spot who's too tired to chase their dreams, was blessed with $1 million, they wouldn't say at that fast food spot. In our minds, we are always on a journey. We are always traveling. We're always moving. We're never stuck in one location. We never want to be stuck in one location because we are designed to want to learn, to want to experience, to want to yearn for things, not to stay in one location. And but I also say the destination is inevitable because at some point it all comes to an end. At some point we all reach our limit, and that's that. And that's a destination that's inevitable. So seeking that destination as your peak or prime of life, or what's going to bring you peace, is irrelevant and painful to you because you are missing the beautiful part of that destination, of that inevitable destination we all have, and that is the journey to get there. And once you love the journey so much, the journey becomes the destination because the love you have for it will become inevitable. And so anything you're doing in your life will give you the peace that you think the destination will, which is what you want. Even on the bad days, once you elevate to that level of peace of mind, and you understand that the things you're going through are going to happen, and it's a part of you getting to that limit we all reach, then you'll be a lot happier. You'll enjoy life a lot more, and it will become the destination. The next day will become the destination because it's not granted. Everything you go through will become the destination. It's something that happened in my life, in my book. If you look at your life like a story, everything you go through is a destination. Because let's say somebody was reading a book about you, there is a point in every page that they could mark and land if they wanted to go back and talk about it. And that would be the destination that they're referring to. Like yesterday I dropped my Big Mac because somebody smacked it out of my hand. That's a page in my book. That's the destination because somebody can look at that and be like, remember that funny part of his story right there? It all becomes a memory. And a memory essentially is a spiritual or intellectual destination because it's a moment that you can always look back on that happened. And that's happening every single second of the day. So don't let it die by thinking you're going to reach this almighty destination that we're all supposed to reach, because that's not true. It's not true. We all have a limit, and there is no thing that you will experience that you can never think about how you're gonna react to a situation until it happens. You might value your childhood memories more over winning $1 million. I know I do. And even though I've touched, and here I go, contradicting myself. I don't know how I feel winning $1 million, but with the value that I place on those memories, I highly doubt, I would cherish that $1 million more than my childhood memories. And so when I say something like that, you might think becoming rich is like the ultimate goal and it's gonna ultimately fuel me, but you still catch yourself missing moments that didn't cost a dime. So do you really love that $1 million like that, or do you love do you love the experiences and destinations you can place in your life, in the chapters of your life, with that money? Love the journey more than a destination. The journey of your life will become the destination. I love y'all. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Drink water. It is so important. I'm not saying that to be funny. Your body loves water. Fuels better off water. I have acid reflux, so I have to drink water, but I promise you, bro, the days I drink water, I feel like a dog, bro. I feel like I don't know, bro. 100 gorillas versus one man. 100 gorillas versus me. You know what I mean? But anyways, y'all have a great day, and I'll catch y'all.